Hi there, today I'm going to be showing you how I made a whimsical layout that's definitely one to display children's photographs, and it's inspired by this wood grain paper from the Fern and Forest collection from Little Yellow Bicycle. You can see some of my ideas here, so you'll get a bit of a gist of the direction in which I'll be taking this layout. So the first thing that I'm going to show you how to make is the wooden frame, and I want it to really appear as if it is a real frame around my layout. So I'm taking the wood grain paper and I'm cutting 4 strips that measure 12 inches by 1 inch. Then I'm cutting out the snail strip from the bold bands papers. I think this strip will make a nice ground for my tree to grow from with those cute snails. And the next thing that I'm going to do is work out the shape of my tree, and I'm just sketching it out with a pencil, and it really is a very basic drawing because this is just going to be a very whimsical layout, so I don't want to be too detailed. I just want a few branches that I can put a few leaves on, and once I'm happy with the sketch I'm going to cut it out. And ever the thrifty crafter, I only have 1 sheet of this blue pinstripe, so because the outside edge of my layout is going to be my frame, I'm just removing 1 inch from each side of the layout, so I'm turning it into an 11-inch square rather than a 12-inch square, and that way I've got a little bit of blue paper if I need it for any details on my layout. If not, they always come in handy for a card. Now I'm using my scoreboard to create depth on my frame, so I'm scoring the wooden strips at 1/8 of an inch on the left and right hand long edges, and then folding them over at 90 degrees and just using my bone folder to shape the strips so that once they're placed on the layout they'll look like they've got some depth to them. Because the paper strips are hollow at this moment, I need to find a way to support them when they are attached to the edge of the layout. I'm starting by cutting thin strips of foam tape, and I'm going to be adding those to the edge of my blue paper. I'm using the second sheet of paper just so that I make sure that I end up back at the 12 by 12 size once I've finished. To further support the paper strips, I'm going to be using chipboard strips that are 1/2 inch in width, so I've cut 4 of those, and then I'm going to attach them to the inside of my paper frame. I'm using my favourite Cosmic Shimmer glue to attach the paper strip to one side of the underneath of my paper frame. Now you need to make sure that it's pushed up against the edge of the paper strip to support it, and then as you can see I've centred my blue paper on the full sheet of 12 by 12, and then I'm attaching it to the foam tape, and I can use the 12 by 12 sheet as a guide to centre and to position the frame in the right place. So there you can see how the chipboard's going to support the remainder of my frame, and you can get a good look at the other side of the blue paper. Those stars are fab. So repeating the process of adding a strip of double-sided foam tape and the cardboard support to the inside of the frame. This time we're going to attach the frame to the opposite side of where we began. So we're creating the frame on opposite sides to start with. Now we're going to complete the frame, but we've got a little couple of tweaks that we need to remember to do to make the frame sit nicely and marry up. So the first thing that you're going to do is lay your paper strip across your frame, and you're going to trim away just the little piece that creates the depth, because obviously one frame is going to overlap the other. So mark it with a pencil and then just cut it away with your scissors. Then once you're happy that you've got the right size cut, then you can cut the mitre on the corner of the frame, so cutting from the inside to the outside to form that 45-degree angle, and you're going to repeat that on the other side of the frame. And when you attach the supporting chipboard to the inside of the frame, just remember to cut it the same length as the short edge of the frame, because you don't want it to encroach on the corners. And then attach it with the double-sided foam tape in the same way as you did the other sides. Then you're ready to repeat that process and attach the 4th side to complete your frame. And with that final side in place, you can see the dimension that we've created. We've now got a 12 by 12 page with the dimension added to the frame on the outside edge. Next I took a scrap of the orange pinstripe from the collection, from a scrap that I had left over from a previous layout, and I'm cutting 1/8 of an inch strips and I'm attaching them to the inside of my frame. And because it's stripy, it's very forgiving about the fact that I'm piecing this together with small scraps of paper. It shows that it pays to keep an eye on your scraps, and they always come in handy for something. I decided to explain in detail how to make this frame because I thought it'd be quite useful for lots of different layouts, not just the one I'm going to show you here today. And so from this point on, I'm going to switch to a fast forward view of how I put this layout together. And keep your eye on the screen because I'll give you any relevant dimensions that I think you might need as we just fast forward through the creation of this whimsical scene to put inside my dimensional frame. such a fast worker. Finally adding the where and the when. These photographs were taken in Cork Abbey, which is in Derbyshire, and they were taken in 2008. So how long has it taken me to scrapbook these photographs? Well, the clue is Callum's 9 on these photographs, and now he's 14 and taller than me. So I hope you like this look at how to make a dimensional frame and this fun whimsical layout. I loved using the little yellow bicycle papers, and I'm looking forward to buying some more. And what should I buy just because of vintage summer? Decisions. Thank you for watching.